Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's Rivalry Week. Enjoy.
Megasode.
Like. Subscribe.
Comment.
I don't know what he's doing.
Why? I don't know. Comment. Happy Thanksgiving.
What son does.
Just watch.
It's a big benchmark day for this podcast.
What's the best rivalry name?
Okay.
Iron Bowl's
The
pretty
Iron,
good.
the
Bowl's
Iron
good.
Bowl. It's also I think the one that comes to name the quickest.
It's hard to beat the Apple Cup. That just sounds pleasant.
The Apple Cup is good.
But that doesn't instill like anger and
You know what
rivalry
the best
and
one
hatred.
was?
Yeah, Civil War.
The Civil War was the best one.
Yes.
Or, then now they got
Egg
rid
Bowl
of it 'cause
is
we're all a
funny
bunch of
though because
woke
if
pussies.
if you say Egg Bowl to like the British guys here,
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Wait, what? Egg Bowl?"
Yeah. Well, I don't give a shit what the British guys here
Well,
think.
the shootout.
The Red River
think
rivalry now.
Red River Shootout is good. Bedlam is good.
Bedlam's a good rivalry.
Bedlam sounds like a badass action movie.
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
You know,
I'm with you.
like if it was
Oh,
a
you're
movie.
right. Sylvester Stallone definitely started
Yeah.
Bedlam right after Cliffhanger.
If you walked by a movie theater in New York City and
No,
it would have a huge
100
movie
miles
theater
of
show
hate.
Yeah,
Bedlam.
that's
100
cool.
miles of hate's unreal.
That's Western Kentucky, Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, but nobody
no one
knows
cares
that name.
about that.
But it's still a cool name.
It's a cool name, but nobody knows about that name. Backyard Brawl's a good one.
Battle for the Rag is funny.
Huh. Happens with my wife once a month.
Oh.
What?
Jack, let's just go ahead and put this out there.
Oh, yes. This is what I was like, monumental
Big
day.
game is the worst.
It's a monumental day for
Awful.
the pod.
This is a monumental day for the
Battle
podcast.
of
hitting
Bayou.
number
Who
4.
plays in that one?
yeah,
hitting
Battle
number
of the-
4.
Louisiana, UL and UL.
Yeah.
The milk can?
Memphis and Southern Miss play in the Black and Blue Bowl? Who knew that? Huh.
Border War is not bad.
But there's
Battle
a
of
lot.
I-75. We were there last week.
But you can't have border war where it refers to two different
I know
things.
you're
You
you're
gotta
right, but
pick
there's
one.
a lot of borders, including
There
one
are.
that's not
There's
safe
a lot
right
of
now.
battle for the bells.
How many borders are in this country? There's 50 states.
There's a lot of borders.
And every state has 4 or 5 borders.
There's one that's not secure right now.
Oh, that's cool. It's the Crab Bowl
fucking
Classic.
Canadians.
Farmageddon.
Farmageddon's a good one. Maryland and Navy play in the Crab Bowl Classic?
Is there an echo?
Who said that?
So we just might as well announce the historical event that's happening for Unnecessary Roughness right
Look,
now.
Marshall and West Virginia play in the Friends of the Coal Bowl.
Jack, would you like to announce it?
Oh, that's good.
Or would
No,
you-
I don't care.
Oh,
that
BYU and Utah is a holy war. That's a
I'll
good one.
announce
Holy
it.
Wars. He's drunk. Who cares?
Brandon's
I
drunk.
love it. I love it. It is. We are now 4 for 4 on drunk
First of all,
appearances.
I'm not that drunk.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
honey.
No, he's not. He's not.
No, I'm fine.
Well, a few moments ago.
No,
maybe you're
yes,
playing
yes,
into
he is.
it.
Why are we? It's fine. You were on the yak. You guys had a yak day. It's not like we're shaming you.
We had apple pie moonshine.
And bottles of champagne.
$5 bits of broken chair trophy is funny, but it's also like a.
Champagne.
Modern day
Champagne.
hate.
This is the.
That's
I'm
cool.
not shaming you. I'm proud of you.
Where is it?
I think
Georgia
you're
Southern,
happy-
Georgia State.
I think you're happy that I've broken the seal, that I can no
Well,
longer
you broke
hold it
this.
over you.
You broke the seal within 2 weeks of saying you would never appear on the podcast.
Platypus trophy.
That's a good animal.
Oregon State has the platypus
How,
trophy.
how do you pronounce that? Jewel?
Shillelagh.
Yep.
That's the Notre Dame USC trophy. We'll
Yeah.
be seeing this
Well, that's
weekend.
the trophy, but they don't have a good name for their.
I think it's just Notre Dame USC. They don't really have a.
The paddle wheel trophy, bad.
Rio Grande rivalry is good because Rio Grande is just a great
Iron
sounding
Skillet's
name.
a
Rocky
one.
Mountain Showdown's good between Colorado and Colorado State. The winner gets Rocky Mountain oysters.
Isn't that balls?
Just testicles, yes.
That's what I thought.
Bull testicles.
So if you win, you still have to lose because you have to eat balls.
I made that part
Textile
up.
bowl.
Yeah, she
I'm
made
the
that
drunk
up.
one. What's wrong with y'all?
I'm
I
reading.
didn't say shit.
Wait, Clemson and NC State playing the Textile Bowl? If I told you Textile Bowl, would you ever guess it was Clemson
I
and
would
NC State?
no, I
No.
would think it was some random
I
bowl
just know
game
that
on like
because
From
From
like the
research.
50s.
Akron
Yeah.
or Toledo or something.
Yeah.
All right,
War and I-4 is also not bad.
It's rivalry week.
it is rivalry week.
We got.
They don't have the They don't have. It's not updated. It has UConn UMass.
They
It
should
doesn't
have the combo on there.
That's a disgrace. Never trust what
Well,
you
it's
read
Wikipedia.
online.
You can go ahead and you just
Can
go
I
ahead and
edit
edit it. Add cum bowl. See how long it's up there. I bet it's not for very long.
I'm so drunk.
I know you are. It's okay. We've been there.
Let's go. Hello and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. High
Haven't had any
Noon,
of those today.
the best tailgating drink in the country. I'm looking at the tailgate pack right now with the pear and the cranberry and the grapefruit, the black cherry. High Noon has many wonderful flavors, including the pineapple, the lemon, the lime, the watermelon, the grapefruit. Oh my goodness, so many great flavors. If you're going to a tailgate this week, or any week, or if you're just hanging out watching football, get you some High Noons.
if you're not watching the podcast and you're just listening, Brandon did a very nice drunk wink for everybody.
Well, no, you don't have to put drunk in front of everything.
It was
It was just a wink.
no, it was a. Have you ever tried? I mean, I'll hand up. When I'm drunk,
You ever winked at a guy across
winking is.
And
off
you know
the
what?
table.
When I'm drunk, I'm usually drunk off of High Noon because High Noon is great. It tastes great. The black cherry, the pear, the cranberry, the grapefruit.
the bar? That's fine.
Jack, you know
It's delicious.
it's delicious. You know what you should do? Thanksgiving this week.
Yeah.
Take the cranberry home, make a nice little punch.
I will say, you were right. You mentioned this on the Saturday Night podcast. There's some TV commercials popping up about High Noon. They've
Like-
made it to our TV.
They've made it to our
We
TV,
were the first advertisers, by the
and
way.
it's not even like they waited until the spring or the summer when it would make the most sense because obviously High Noon is a cold beverage. They're just rolling them out in the winter, which means it's doing that well.
Doing great. Doing
What,
great.
what were you going to ask me?
Have you ever used a wink to flirt with a boy?
No, because when I wink, I look like I'm having a
You
stroke.
don't have a good wink? Give me a wink. Oh, no, God. I'd be,
See, Jack's
that's
like
bad
me.
too.
Mine's
can you do,
awful.
Can you do
Katie,
the other
Katie,
eye?
give me a wink.
I can't do the other eye.
I think
Let me see.
Oh,
Let me see.
Decompose.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no.
that one's much better than
Oh,
mine.
no,
bad.
I can't even do it with my left eye.
Let's all wink
You
at
can't do
Noah and
both?
let him judge
Okay,
the best
all
wink.
right.
Okay.
No, look at him. His
Hey,
face is already red.
Noah has to judge the best wink. That's okay. You just say who the best one is. You don't have to judge the worst one. Go, Katie. Go, Katie. All right. There you go.
Not
Wink
Casey.
it. Are you, my turn? Okay. All right, who's got the best wink?
Brandon's close, actually.
Oh,
It's
wow.
Brandon. It's
I
Brandon.
have
It's
a pretty
Brandon.
good wink. Yeah.
Katie
It's
has
also,
a good one.
Once you're like aware of it, you can't do it naturally. I've never been more self-conscious of how to wink.
Winking at somebody and them realizing that you're winking is a powerful communication tool.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
it really is. Like if you do anything in your life good and you finish it with a wink, it's 10 times cooler.
You remember, I think I winked in the camera once on this podcast, and it was just very awkward and just not good.
I
But
think we shut the show down for about 3
yes,
weeks
I think
afterwards.
you had to take a walk.
Yeah, I took a vacation.
Casey
after
was
that.
like, "I hope you never do that to a woman
Yeah.
because she'll
Uh-huh.
be dry
And then,
after that."
Samantha left the podcast because of that.
Yes.
Yeah. I just created a fictional character who
No,
on
she was the
podcast.
producer for that one day.
That one day, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I miss Samantha.
Yeah, it was an HR suit. I beat it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
Yeah, it's all made up.
Huge tits.
Also,
That's
made
why
up.
we got the HR case,
Okay,
bro.
all right. Huge.
I love that he made up a person and immediately gave her massive tits.
Right. Sweet gal, though. Real sweet gal. It's a shame what happened to her.
She's doing great over at
Bleacher Report?
Outkick.
I
Yeah,
love, I
Outkick. She's
love
Outkick.
this made up.
Samantha's
storyline.
definitely an Outkick.
Yeah, she's at Outkick.
Yeah. She's
She
doing
likes
good.
the South better anyway.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And Clay treats her good.
No.
The Big T's going there soon, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
me too. I've been told I've been hired by Outkick 8,000 times by
you
people
wouldn't
online.
You wouldn't last at Outkick. That's what people get sure of your politics and they think, but Jack pisses everybody off on both sides. Jack's just a dick. All right. It's rivalry week.
It is rivalry
Are y'all
week.
sharing things on
It was Twitter.
I was asking if I should respond. I said this on Saturday night's podcast, and I don't want to spend time on it, but it really is. And I know you've probably dealt with it too, probably less than me.
Yeah.
When your own fan base gets mad at you over dumb
Sure,
shit,
yeah.
it is.
Question.
Yes, Brandon.
Lane Kiffin's going to Auburn. And I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend in a world that he's not going to Auburn. He can do all the little snide tweets at guys that report. John Sokoloff was just a guy with 3,000 followers at WCBI, my hometown station, by the way, in the Golden Triangle. John Sokoloff tweets out that Lane Kiffin's going, and then Lane can do his little snarky things back at him. Breaking news, John Sokoloff is plans to step down as lead anchor and head to WLOX. That's funny, Lane. Here's the one thing Lane hasn't done.
Say he's not going to Auburn?
Say he's not going to Auburn.
I saw some. Like
He
one of
hasn't said I'm staying. He hasn't said I'm not going. He hasn't said any of that. He just does these funny jokes.
which they are very funny.
Not really.
Oh, I think they're very funny. However, you're right. If you're not taking the job, you just come out and say, I am not going to Auburn. And remember when Lincoln Riley went through this, he said, I am not going to LSU. Well, he didn't
Yeah.
say he wasn't going to USC.
Right.
He just mentioned, I'm not going where you all think I'm going to go. Lane
So-
hasn't done that.
So here's the thing. John Sokoloff, a local news reporter in Columbus, Mississippi, tweeted, breaking, Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin plans to step down as Rebels coach Friday and head to Auburn to become the Tigers' next head coach, according to sources. Sources say the Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet, so Lane to Auburn is happening. story soon. Now, Lane Kiffin came out before his joke tweet where he said, breaking news, John Sokolov's going to another
Very
station.
funny.
Before that, he said, this is news to me, John. So here I have deduced what has exactly happened.
Oh, so you have a conspiracy theory.
No, I don't have a conspiracy theory.
He has a theory.
I
he
don't have a
knows.
theory either. I have an answer.
Okay, what is it?
John Sokolov was wrong. They're not announcing him Friday. That would be disrespectful to the 85 players at Auburn and the coaches at Auburn and Cadillac Williams at Auburn who have to play Saturday. They're not announcing it Friday. They're announcing it Sunday. And that is the issue with John Sokolov's tweet. Why would they announce it the day before Auburn plays in their last game? That would be disrespectful to everybody, every Auburn man on that sideline.
Especially for a game against Alabama.
Guys,
You're right.
I told you 6 months ago. I told you 3 months ago. I told you 3 weeks
You gave
ago.
Noah a piece of paper.
He has a piece of paper. I'll tell you now, Lane Kiffin's going to Auburn. I don't know what we're doing. Lane Kiffin's going to Auburn. He's their next head coach.
You have said this for a very long time. While I find the social media stuff funny and everybody's like, haha, Lane's playing back, he's not going to go. If Mintz said this on the rundown today, and I know this is going to come out probably after the
Putting
rundown.
Mintz on the rundown now?
Marty had
He
him
was
on
like
the
a
rundown.
Good Lord.
Floating mic.
Marty and Mintz?
It was a floating mic,
Enrico,
not
yeah.
permanent.
We just gave up.
Oh, boy. Well, anyway, so he said, well, I don't even know if Auburn is called Lane Kiffin. And I had my headphones on, so I didn't care to talk about it. But,
Oh, I listened.
everyone knows Auburn has called Lane Kiffin.
So here is one thing the Ole Miss fans who are clinging to the hope he's not leaving, where Sokolov says, sources say the Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet. Mostly in college football, nobody gets offered till it's already been accepted. The offer only comes once it's been agreed upon that you will accept
You're right.
the offer.
Why make a whole entire contract?
Right. The official offer is to the head coach that takes the job.
Correct.
The conversations happen to get to the offer.
Well, and also the conversations that happen before the offer is actually extended are happening with guys' agents.
I'll say another thing. A lot of people asking me yesterday when I was joking about this and putting everything about this, because my God, I'm enjoying this, and I will enjoy it. When they say, are we really sure Auburn's a better job than Ole Miss? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We sure
Yes.
are. We're very sure. We couldn't be more sure of anything.
I'm so sure.
Couldn't be more sure.
There's no bias coming from Jack. There's no bias coming from me. Brandon, there's no bias coming from you, but people will say it.
Well,
They'll say it because you're a Mississippi State
Well,
fan.
here's the
but
thing.
but you're taking that off.
There's a lot of bias coming from me. Doesn't mean what I say isn't true about this subject.
Yes.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Is that people are like, well, you're a Mississippi State fan. Of course you're going to say that. Well, that doesn't make it untrue because Jack is saying it, Katie's saying it, I'm saying it. Noah's probably saying it too. He just hasn't said it yet. Noah,
Hey,
is it
Noah.
a better job?
I winked at-
definitely.
I winked
Yeah.
at him again.
He winked at him again.
Yeah, I winked at him again.
And then he just was like, come on, man.
Come on, man. I just want to talk about football.
Noah just quit.
Oh, fuck.
What are we going to do
See you,
now?
Noah.
Please don't.
We'll
It
bring
was-
back
It
Samantha.
was nice to have. Well, Samantha's.
Oh,
Yeah, she's in rehab.
Okay.
well,
She.
good for her.
She.
Well, is it because you guys talked about her tits too much?
Oh well, no, I didn't talk about them enough. I think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Huge. Did you see
Yeah.
at the 4th of July party we had that one time? We didn't invite y'all.
It doesn't
she
sound
It was just for the fellows.
Katie wasn't on the show yet. Samantha was actually a dude.
Before she became a.
It's 2022.
There's so much happening right now.
All right, we've got we have Lane Kiffin who's going to Auburn. Does anybody here think he's not going to Auburn?
I'm not 100% sure like you are, but I think he's going.
I got to talk to Jack for a second. Sometimes when you tweet from the unnecessary reference account, it doesn't seem like you think he's going to Auburn.
Well, you can't.
No, you can.
We can't say 100%, Brandon.
There are a lot of schools in this country. We are going to be biased against one of them on the unnecessary reference
So
account.
are you talking about the one where it's like, well, that was fun with the deleted tweet?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Well, that was just because at the moment it was not confirmed. Don't worry, we're gonna throw a party on that account on Sunday.
All right. We got plans?
Yeah, we're gonna.
I might. Could you even give me the password for Sunday?
Yeah, but I'll just give you my phone.
Okay.
Oh
all right.
my God,
What?
you on Sunday. If this
Ripping
comes to
tweets.
fruition,
12-hour live stream of Brandon just.
You know what? Yeah, you should set up another phone
Mm-hmm.
and go live and just have your phone or your computer or whatever and just go through all the replies that you've gotten about this and just roast everybody. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Now, it is rivalry week.
It is.
I do have to play them.
Sucks.
So
The line's moving.
the line is moving. I also will say that I'm feeling a lot more confident in your favor. I said this on Saturday. I said it on the college football show we've already recorded. I'm saying it now. I don't think Ole Miss is
Very good.
that good. And I think that Mississippi State has proven that they can play really well. And I want you to win so badly that I'm trying to will it into existence.
Now, it would be
Their
foolish.
defense is not – Ole Miss's defense is not good.
It would be foolish of us to start with that game because that's not the biggest game. We can circle back to that game. I know my place in the world. We got to talk about Ohio State, Michigan.
The game.
We got to talk about a lot of other games throughout this country as we go into this weekend. It's bittersweet because it's the end of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But the way we space this out with Thursday night being the Egg Bowl, Friday's a good solid slate, Saturday, it's just delicious. And then you add in the fact that you've got the World Cup going on right now. It's sports nirvana happening right now. By the way, all right, Argentina is Alabama. Who would Saudi Arabia be in this case? Nickel State?
Not Nicholls State. I think it would be like Louisiana. It would be like Utah State beating them.
Okay, all right.
I like that.
That happened today.
That this morning before everybody woke up.
Well, I was already awake. I was working
And
out.
Ronaldo,
You were
something.
Sure wasn't.
Oh, well, Ronaldo got – that would almost be like Nick Saban being the greatest, leaving, and then coming back, and then just being like an absolute dickhead to Alabama and then leaving.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Before we get to the rivalry week, Brandon, we got to talk about Ridge Wallet.
Yes, we do.
got to talk about Ridge Wallet.
Are you talking
because
about that ultra minimalist wallet that holds up to a lot of cards?
I am, but you know what? We've talked about a lot of things that are happening this week. It's also Black Friday,
Yep.
Cyber Monday's coming up. So
Did they add new colors?
they did.
When did those coins come out?
Where's the coins?
Those
no,
right
no.
there.
That's the coin slot. That's
yes.
Like
Yeah,
the
Brandon,
holder.
that's-
You don't be knowing.
Just sit back and let us handle this.
I got this.
It's okay, brother. So Black Friday, they're doing a 40% sale, but they're not just doing it for Black Friday, Brandon. They're doing it through December 22nd. We've been talking about Ridge Wallet for a long time. Katie has the rose gold. I've bought multiple Ridge Wallets as gifts because it is the Christmas season coming up or whatever you want to celebrate. We know how much we love it here. It's got 30 colors and styles, including the carbon fiber and burnt titanium, which I have a feeling if Brandon had in front of him, he would actually try to eat right now.
Delicious sounding.
He would try to eat it. So you guys know the drill. It has the RFID blocking technology. It protects you from digital pickpocketers. Those people are assholes. Ridge has got you covered. They also have the key case to help you organize your keys. Jack, you mentioned this last week. You had to get one because you lost your keys. You finally jumped on the Ridge key game.
Yeah, and I should have jumped on it earlier so I didn't lose my keys.
Yes, you definitely
So
should've.
learn from my mistakes.
Learn from all of our mistakes. Go to ridge.com/UR. Save up to 40% through December 22nd. Again, it is Black Friday. It is Cyber Monday. It's all coming up. And why not get a new wallet for somebody in your life? Everyone needs a new wallet. You don't want the shitty wallet, the broken wallet, the wallet that makes you sit on one of your butt cheeks unevenly.
It'll mess up your posture.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want a Ridge wallet. And yeah, go to ridge.com/UR. 40% off through December 22nd.
Ohio State and Michigan. Now, we have a college football playoff, but every now and then you have games that line up in the regular season that basically ostensibly become an extension of the playoff, and that's what this is. This is a playoff to get into the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
It is because whoever wins this game will go 12-0 and then go to Indianapolis and beat the living hell out of Iowa or some poor Big Ten West team next week. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Iowa, yes.
Does the significance of this game give you pause on how great a college football playoff with more teams would be? Do you think?
No, because I'll tell you why, Jack. And I like the fact that you asked that question.
Okay.
Because it would seem on the surface like if there was a 12-team playoff, both of these teams would get in, okay? And you'd be like, oh, yeah. But the rivalry is still the rivalry. The hate is still the hate. How amazing would it be if we saw this game go 42-35 on Saturday, and then 12-team playoff, they match up again with all the stakes in the world on the line? How big would that game be in a month?
And this game
Doesn't mean this game means less. It means that game would mean that much more.
And you'd be playing for a bye essentially in this game.
Yes.
So-
the winner of this game would be in the top 4 and would be in great shape to win a national championship. The loser of this game would go back into the pool, But buddy, they would still. I don't like eliminating one of these. I don't like eliminating one of these teams as soon as they lose this game.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
So-
I completely
So it
agree.
almost gives
because
you-
gives you the added element of having a 12-team playoff because you would get to see it run back. And how many times do we say, well, if they played on a neutral field 10 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
X team would only win a couple times? Well, you don't ever know that because they only play once in the season. Maybe a team might rematch twice if they play in the conference championship and then both get into the playoff. But not only is this, it feels like a playoff game in the regular season, it's also a championship game in the regular season. So you're playing for not only a chance to get to the playoff, you're also whoever wins this game is the Big Ten champion. So why not give an opportunity to run it back?
Shout out to Michigan for finally making this game matter. Started last year when they won the game, and now they held up there into the bargain and didn't fall off and are 11-0 again this year. And frankly, they're they got a better record now this year than they had last year at this time. So
What do you say to people who say that this is a kind of a playoff game? We already
it
kind
is.
of have
This is a playoff game.
but the fact that this is this would be replacing in the 12-team playoff, we would have this, but now we kind of already have that, even though it's not officially.
This is not guaranteed to happen every year, and this is and I think every year, whether there's a playoff or not, whether there's a BCS or not, whether there's anything or not, Ohio State Michigan's always going to matter. And frankly, I think more Ohio State Michigan would be better and not worse. So
And they will always hate each other, even if the one team knows they could get their doors blown
now
off.
let's talk about the actual game because both teams were 11-0. Both teams were kind of trash on Saturday. Michigan escaped against Illinois. Ohio State escaped against Maryland. Ohio State's score looked a little bit better because they had the late turnover, but neither looked good on Saturday. Now you have two 11-0 teams. Ohio State's won every game by double digits. Michigan's won most games by double digits, I think 10 of them. And last year, this was a snowy game. Not snowy, but had some snow in it. And Michigan used an offensive line and running backs and a great defensive pass rush to just brutalize Ohio State. I don't know that they got the same capabilities this year. I think Ohio State improved on their weaknesses, their run defense up front, and the injuries to Michigan's running backs are the biggest storyline in this game.
As of right now, though, it seems like both of them are going to be playing.
Are going to be playing is fine. What percent are you giving me? If I'm getting 70% of Corum and 70% of Edwards, I don't have a chance if I'm Michigan, in my opinion. If I'm getting 100%, I do have a chance.
I would disagree with that only because I think if you told me you have 70% of Blake Corum and 0% of Donovan Edwards, I would agree. That's the thing with Blake Corum is definitely the better running back. We know that he could potentially win the Heisman. Donovan Edwards, I say better running back. This year he's been the more efficient one. But they've both shared so much of the load and had the carries they've had that even having those two guys both at 70%, we've seen Ohio State's defense. Yes, they've definitely gotten better than what they were last year, but we have seen them struggle against the run a little bit throughout the year, and this is the best rushing attack they're going to have seen. If both of those guys are healthy,
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that this Michigan offensive line is going to be the best offensive line they've faced.
And I don't think J.J. McCarthy is near as bad as you think
J.J.
he
McCarthy is terrible.
He's not
J.J.
great.
No. J.J. McCarthy is terrible. El Terrible is what the Spaniards call him. He is not a good quarterback.
They're 99 in passing offense.
Yeah,
Michigan.
and they've had some receiver injuries. I'll give them that. But if they're going to win this game, it has to be on the back of one of the best offensive lines in the country and two workhorse running backs. J.J. McCarthy ain't winning this game.
When you look at the comparison between the quarterbacks, obviously he's not a good quarterback in comparison to C.J. Stroud. But I mean, he still only has thrown 2 interceptions this year.
He doesn't throw anything worth intercepting, though. Like they don't let him throw the ball down the field. If you saw the other day against Illinois, even when they didn't have Corum, the passes they called for J.J. McCarthy were fullback in the flat, tight end in the flat. Mm-hmm. Nothing fancy, nothing scary, nothing that can stretch a defense. And if I'm Ohio State and I got 5-star talent across the defense and I just load up on a couple of running backs that aren't 100%, I don't think J.J. McCarthy scares me at all.
McCarthy, he's 92nd with only 22.5 attempts per game.
Yeah.
He does not throw a lot. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, they obviously are a running team. They want to run the football. They do run the football. And if they can run the football in this game, they can win the game. If they cannot run the football, they cannot win this game. That is my stance.
It's not. I mean, there's no true argument. I don't think that it's a complete they cannot because I think.
Do you think Michigan's going to win the game?
I do think Michigan's going to win the game.
Do you think Michigan's going to win the game?
Damn.
No.
Do you think Michigan's going to win the game?
I've been liking Michigan to at least cover to keep it close because 7.5, but I feel like I found myself getting talked out of it to go for Ohio State. Though I'm really cold.
I
so
know how you think. You're pointing to
But
yourself.
I'm not downplaying Michigan when I say
No,
that.
I know you're not. You have to pick one to win the game. They can't tie.
Let me tell you the truth, and this is what I really think. Forget Michigan right now. I think there's two teams that can win the national title. One's in Athens, Georgia, and one's in Columbus, Ohio. I think they're the best combination of offense, defense in the country. Michigan with a good defense, a great defense this year, and an offense that is heavily predicated on running the football. You won't be able to run against Georgia, so I don't think they have national title potential in them. I think Ohio State and Georgia are your two national champions potentially, and I think Ohio State wins this game. They're at home too, and that's not a small thing.
No, it's not. And again, with this,
Weather looks fine.
but both of these teams, I mean, we've seen both of these teams struggle a little bit with weather, but they're also Big Ten teams.
Yeah,
They're
but
not gonna
48
win.
degrees is fine.
Right,
That's-
no, it's going to be, and I
yeah.
think it's probably going to be sunny, and even if it's not, it's fine. And that also plays in Ohio State's favor as well, because like we've mentioned, Ohio State is much more reliant on C.J. Stroud and airing the ball out, and when the weather stinks, that comes into a factor. We've seen that this year. I know you said at the beginning of the season you think there are two teams that can win, and you said Georgia and Ohio State. You're sticking with that, understandably. I also have said all season that I think Michigan is going to beat Ohio State and that Michigan's going to end up in the college football playoff, and I have no reason to back that down after not only what I've seen Michigan do this season, but also what I've seen Ohio State do.
Yeah.
Yes, they have beaten teams by a lot of points, but a lot of the time when you do see them start to struggle, it's against teams that are not near as good as Michigan.
Well, I said the stat that they've won every game by double figures. I mean, the Maryland game was a little fluky that was by double figures. The Penn State game was a little fluky that was by double figures. So I'll give credit to that.
Maryland should have been what, 37-30?
If Michigan wins this game, this is the hypothetical we're about to participate in. If Michigan wins this game, does Ryan Day's seat warm?
No.
I don't think so.
I think it does. I think if you're the Ohio State coach, and I know Dave jokes about it a lot, born on third base. He was born with a national championship caliber program given to him. He didn't build it. It was given to him. And you're judged by winning by two things: beating Michigan, winning the national title. If you lose to Michigan twice and that destroys your dreams of winning a national title, I think that seat warms up a little bit. I don't think they're going to accept anything less than that. I'm not saying they're going to fire him next year. I'm not going to say it's a hot seat, but I'm going to say there's whispers and there's doubts and there's a warming of the seat.
A little bit. I mean, theoretically, right? Ryan Daysby in Michigan twice. One year the game didn't happen, but they were going to kill them that year. He also has made it to the playoff, lost in the semis in a very close game against Clemson that there were some controversial calls, and Justin Fields wasn't really his fault. He threw an interception at the end of the game.
At that point, that would have been 3 seasons ago.
I know, but I'm going to continue. And then the next year he made the national championship, lost to a really good Alabama team. And then last year he lost to Michigan and won the Rose Bowl. This year, yes, it would be back-to-back losses, but I don't think it would be even a question. It's unfortunate, but if he loses again, yeah, I mean, I guess a little bit. I just think at the end of the day, this game is going to come down to the fact that Ohio State's run defense is not an issue this year like it was last year, and
It's definitely
I don't
getting
know
better.
if Michigan's going to be able to do anything outside of that. So we may end up be looking at Ohio State at the end of this game by saying like, oh my God, this is the best team in the country. I don't think they are. I think it's still Georgia, but I think it's going to come down to Georgia and Ohio State, which isn't a crazy thing to say because they're 1-2 right now.
I'm going to give you the actual X's and O's, not the X's and O's, but I'm going to give you the actual football reasons I think Ohio State's going to win by double digits. I know Ohio State can score on anybody. Anybody. They have 2 games this year. Their 2 lowest totals were 21 and 21. That was against Notre Dame in the opener and against Northwestern in a monsoon that'll never be replicated in a million years. Otherwise, they're scoring 45, 77, 52, 49, 49, 54, 44, 56, and 43. They can score. They can score on anybody. They can score at any time. They can lose Jackson Smith and Jigba. Marvin Harrison Jr. steps up. They can score. Can Michigan score with them? If Blake Corum isn't 110%, I don't know that they can. Because you're going to have to if Ohio State gets this game into the 30s or 40s, I don't think Michigan's going to be able to keep up with them. That's what I believe.
And that's
you don't have the quarterback to do it.
That's a very fair analysis. I think that when you look at, and Jack, you were right, the rush defense has gotten better. It still has not gotten to the point where no one can run the ball against them.
He's quote tweeting your picture of my belly.
And I just said we are recording now.
Yeah. We are recording
Just to
now.
hype the
And
episode.
I'm very.
Yes.
I couldn't be more sober right now.
Well, that's not true, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
Don't touch me ever.
It's a holiday week.
Don't you ever touch me again.
You love when I touch you.
Okay, I touched
I know
you.
you touched me.
You want to hold hands the rest of the show?
Yeah.
How long could you go comfortably doing this?
The whole show.
No, you couldn't.
Really?
I promise I could.
Hands don't get sweaty.
I don't mind holding hands.
Even if it gets sweaty though and clammy.
I'm not comfortable right now.
I could. I mean, yeah, if they get sweaty and clammy, but I don't. We're not like.
I took my hand back. That was on me. I pulled out. I said chicken.
You pulled
Sorry.
out.
Okay, relax. That's the first time it's happened to her in a while. All right.
Whoa!
Hey,
hey,
Hey.
I love
That was
this
good,
show.
though.
We're
But
talking
also-
about Michigan?
Honestly, though, you're not wrong.
yeah.
All right, Michigan?
I think that Michigan will be able to score, and I think that their defense, and I know that it is a little bit different without Aiden Hutchinson, and you go down the list from the guys that left last year, but I still think that they will be able to put enough pressure on Ohio State's offense. I think the game's going to be close. I do not think by any stretch that Michigan is going to be able to blow out Ohio State, but I do think that they will be able to score enough. But they also, they have the number 2 scoring defense in the country. Like they will be able to put pressure on this Ohio State offense, which is a juggernaut, to slow it down enough to be able to keep up with them.
We were able to do this, so let's just do this for this game and this game only.
Okay.
BW, I know what my score prediction is.
What's the total right now?
It's 57.
Okay.
I have 42-24 Ohio State. That's what I've got. What do you have for this score, Casey Smith?
I'm going to go 38-35 Michigan.
Ooh, a classic.
Yes.
A classic. Jack, what would you put the score at?
31-17.
Ohio State.
Yes.
And then KZ stats.
Let's go 38-24.
Okay.
Ohio State.
So now
Nice.
my question becomes to you after that, and then we'll wrap up and move off of this game. It is a huge game. It is one of the 2 biggest rivalries in college football that is inarguable. It's either this one or the Iron Bowl, depending on which year has bigger stakes. And obviously this year, this one has bigger stakes. What are the chances, percentage-wise? I'm going to use Michigan for an example because they're the road team.
Okay.
What are the percent chances Michigan loses this game and gets into the playoff anyway? Because I don't think they're very low.
10%.
I think it's higher than that.
Okay.
Well, loses by how much? I
Well,
say
no,
you
just say it in
got to
general.
bake that into your percentage.
Yeah.
I would say 30.
Okay, because
All right.
right now you've got Georgia in. We assume they're going to win out. You have Ohio State. Again, you can flip these hypothetically in your mind if you need to.
I do think that if Ohio State loses, they have a better chance to get in than Michigan.
So you
does
have
if they
Georgia and
lose.
Ohio State in. Now, next you have TCU, and you have probably USC. Okay? One of those lose. If one of those lose, and both are very possible, one loss Michigan or one loss Ohio State is going to be in the discussion for that 4th spot.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be in that discussion against a Clemson team who got blown out by Notre Dame. The chance with Tennessee losing last week, it made the loser's life in this game so much better. I almost think it's a lot. Now that I say it out loud and I look at it, I think it's higher than that. I think it might be 50%.
Really?
50.
That's a
Okay, no. I'm asking you a question. What's your percent chance that both TCU and USC went out?
50%.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's-
but what if I think tonight we're going to see Clemson at 7.
I don't. You think so? Clemson?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, I do.
Unfortunately,
You know what?
Especially, and you know what happens? If Notre Dame beats USC, that only strengthens Clemson, which it stinks. I don't want them in.
I don't understand. They're 9. I see them gaining 1 spot. What would be the second spot that they gain? Where's the second
I think they're
spot?
going to go over Alabama.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, I think they'll be at 8. And Michigan, if they lose, let's say they're going to be 3 tonight, they'll drop to 5. Like they won't drop far.
Unless it's a blowout, they could drop out of it.
I think the likelihood of the loser getting in this game with Tennessee losing last week is pretty damn
So,
strong.
do you think? So, we're obviously recording this before the playoff comes out. We're looking at last week. Do you think they'll move USC to 5 and keep LSU at 6? Because that also, let's say,
Doesn't matter where LSU
Well,
is right
but
now.
it does a little bit.
Well, I don't think it does because LSU's entire resume to get in will be beating
The
Georgia.
SEC championship.
So it doesn't matter what they could be number 20 right now. It's just it's not until they win where you have to worry about their resume. What you got to do is kind of deconstruct this thing and put it together. Georgia in, Ohio State in if they win this game. That's 2 done.
Okay.
Cross it out.
Okay.
Now you build who's most likely next. As of right now, sitting in those spots are going to be undefeated TCU and 1-loss Pac-12 champion at USC.
And of those 2, and as much as I love USC and have all year, I would put TCU to have better chances to get in.
I think they could both lose, but
Just playing the
chaos,
hypothetical.
Chaos. All right, let's move. There's a great
Yeah.
opportunity to move off of that game into this game, which probably has the second most playoff implications this week, and that is the first USC Notre Dame game to matter in a very long time.
And before we do that, Brandon, I
Oh
have
my
to say,
goodness.
your
Are we
hair looks phenomenal. Jack, your hair looks phenomenal.
Whose looks more?
Well, it depends on what you're into.
Wow,
Some people
what
like
an
brunettes.
answer.
Some people like blondes.
What an
You know,
answer.
it just depends. You know, everybody's got their own type.
She's a
No,
politician.
Samantha liked mine.
I know.
Oh, God.
She told me that.
Oh my God.
That's what made you mad at her at first, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? If Samantha was sitting here, what she would remind not only all the men in the room, also all the men listening,
Yeah.
42%, which is almost half of all men, experience moderate to extensive hair loss in their lifetime. Samantha would want everyone to know that. But she would also want everyone to know that our friends at Roman, Brandon,
She was such a caring woman.
she was, and so is Roman. They're very
Yeah.
caring people. They offer both prescription medication and over-the-counter treatments to help you stop balding in its tracks. The sooner a person starts treatment for hair loss, the easier it is to keep the hair they have.
Roman takes care of the male body.
It sure does.
It takes care of certain things
very
you need.
important parts of the male
Very
body.
important parts, and the hair is a remarkably important part of the human male body.
I would definitely agree. Roman has you covered head to toe and parts in between that are very, very important. 80% of men who use prescription hair loss treatment have no further hair loss after 2 years.
Really?
Pretty good numbers.
Roman doing work.
Pretty good numbers. So getting started is simple. You can get a free online visit. And
I bet it comes in discreet packaging.
Well, it sure does.
Okay.
Anything you get from Roman does. So it's, you know, we're talking about the hair loss treatment right now, but anything you want right now from Roman will come in a discreet package. You can talk to a healthcare professional. They'll help you with the best treatment plan. And hair loss treatment starts at only $20 per month on a quarterly plan. $20 a month? That's like 3 coffees.
Yes, it is.
And I'll tell you what, you know what's more important than coffee? Having a nice head of hair.
Yeah, I have both.
Right now, Roman has a special offer for our listeners as well. So if you
What
can read
is it,
right, you
Casey?
can read it right here.
Go to ro.co/Walker. That's my name.
That is your name.
ro.co/Walker to get 20% off your first order. That's ro.co/Walker for 20% off those luscious locks.
Yeah, we love Roman.
We sure do.
You just threw my paper on the ground, but it's fine.
Well, we were done with it.
I know, I
Don't you
just-
get confused when there's too many papers on the...
No, I'm used to it.
Relax. Okay, so
Notre Dame USC.
can I go down a rabbit trail real quick before we talk about Notre Dame
Of course
USC?
you can.
What's EA Sports doing?
Uh-oh.
What's EA
Oh,
Sports
boy.
doing? You tell me what EA Sports is doing.
Oh, boy.
Matt Brown yesterday reports, per multiple sources familiar with the situation, EA is expected to announce tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. By the way, did they
I'm
announce that?
checking. I don't think so.
Probably should, since we're relying on an old report, that EA Sports College Football will be delayed until 2024. What the fuck?
This guy's been on top of everything. Matt Brown, EP.
He's a good reporter.
Good
We've
reporter.
been waiting 10 years for this game, and they're going to delay it again until 2024.
Also, I mean, what a college football Twitter night last night with the whole Lane thing.
Yeah.
And Lane was tweeting out all the, which we already talked about. And then
He also
Matt
tweeted at
Brown,
his own kid.
Matt Brown then goes, "Hey guys, I got some bad news coming." And then he goes, "Actually, I'm going to tell you right now, per multiple sources, this game is getting delayed." And guess what? People did not like it. I think my theory is they want to, maybe they're just covering their own ass. Maybe they don't have enough engineers or whatnot. But I think they ran into, they want to have real players in the game, and they want to have their names and everything. I think they ran into too many
NIL situations.
like
Roadblocks.
Roadblocks. Sorry, yeah, my
But
brain
it should
was
be. We should be past all that. We should have figured that out already.
I know. I'm with you. I'm just trying to give the perspective of the other side, which is the evil corporation EA Sports.
There's confirmed from EA that
Hypothetical question.
Okay.
You never played the game. That's fine.
I did not know.
You played the game.
A lot.
If we had in front of us on that TV NCAA football 2023 and we were playing with this year's rosters, who would be your favorite player to play with?
Favorite player to play with?
Yeah.
Damn.
Would it be C.J. Stroud?
No.
Well, see, quarterbacks are tricky.
Oh, okay, all right.
Quarterbacks are tricky because a lot of the times,
Max Duggan would be a lot of fun.
unless they're really fast, a lot of the quarterbacks feel the same because you're choosing where to throw the ball, right?
Jalen Hyatt.
Deuce Vaughn, he'd be like a 98, and he'd be like speedy. He'd be fun. Kansas State would be a fun team to control.
Are running backs fun to play with?
Running backs are the most fun to
would
play with.
Bijan Robinson?
Yes, running backs. I would say running
Yeah.
backs are the most fun players to play with.
I like a speedy quarterback.
Yeah, a speedy quarterback. Yeah, running the read option with a quarterback that can just get 20 yards at a clip is fun.
You know that whenever this does come out, we talked about we were going to do it next year, but obviously we have to wait because EA Sports.
EA Sports, we're sitting right here. We will help you build this game.
Well, we're gonna stream you teaching me how to do it.
You know who'd be the most fun? Jaden Daniels would be the most fun.
Oh, so fun. He'd be one of the
He'd be the
fastest
best.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, and he can throw it well enough. His rating would be good enough that you could still throw the
plus
Keishawn
he's got
Butte.
like 95 receivers.
And then you would play with Harold Perkins on defense. It would be fun.
I bet Will
think that
Anderson
was
would be
true.
a cheat code, though.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they want a whole new IP. They're not just going to reskin Madden.
So that was the biggest.
That's
even
what
know-
that's
I
the
don't even
fear
know what
that
that
people
means.
have.
Fear.
What it means is Madden has a certain engine and a way that it runs.
Gotcha.
And the old game there were differences, like the option game was different, but they were very similar in gameplay. What people were scared of with Madden still going the last 10 years, they were just going to take Madden, change the color of the uniforms, change the stadiums,
Gotcha.
and plug it in, and it was
don't
gonna
want
be,
that.
You don't want that.
You don't want
Because
that.
Madden's engine
Madden
people
is-
say Madden's engine in 2022 is not as good as an engine on a NFL game from 2005 that
NFL
ESPN
2K, yeah.
the ESPN made. So Madden's
The whole
engine has
world
not.
I don't understand.
and I
Madden's
don't-
engine's basically been the same for 20 years almost,
Okay.
and it doesn't change, it doesn't evolve, and it's a little stale and upright. And
Do you think we're glamorizing the NCAA football engine?
Yes, because you haven't had it. In a
Yes,
while.
exactly.
I'll tell you what,
It's like an
Absence,
X.
absence makes the heart grow fonder.
we do glamorize that game a lot, but
Like you
there's
see that
some-
X walking, you're like,
Yeah,
wait,
wait.
she's
what,
actually hot.
what set
Right.
that game apart wasn't playing on the field.
I know it was all the game.
It was all the teams you could pick from, all the
Players.
recruiting you could do, all the fight songs it played, all the stadiums you could see, all the different uniforms, and then on the field, instead of Madden's four verts or whatever, and calling that every play, you could call a triple option. You could call college plays.
Do you think the 2024 will have a Bagman character?
Maybe.
It really should. They've always shied away from that stuff because they could have had
Because-
that a long time ago. But they've always
Funny.
shied away from that
NCAA
stuff.
like
Yeah.
approves it, and they'd be like,
And they're lame as fuck.
Maybe they don't call it the Bagman. It's just the NIL booster.
Yeah, the booster.
I
That-
bet
that we
you.
all-
You know what they're gonna do?
Have like an NIL function. Like you have to like.
You have to buy it. You have to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
I
can
bet
have
you do.
you can have $1 million NIL dollars for $9.99, or you can have $3 million for $14.99. That's what I guarantee you. That's what they're going to do.
So I will say one thing that's really exciting is the online games have become that much better over the past decade or so, and we haven't had that with NCAA football. So having an online function will be really cool. Maybe we could have our own unnecessary roughness dynasty
That'd be sick.
kind of
I would love to
online
learn how to
thing.
play it too.
But
Yeah.
it's going to be a while now. It's another year. It sucks because it was going to be this summer, which is 6 months away.
You ready to have this out?
What, Notre Dame USC?
No.
What?
You know who needs to get over themselves to get the fuck out of the way? Jack Teller. Jack Teller.
EA Sports?
Oh, what's happening?
I don't know.
He's got to write it down.
Is this gonna be another Sam joke or
Oh
something?
yeah.
Jack Teller.
Oh, God.
Teller, Jack. Teller. You know who needs to get out of the way?
Your mistress.
Yeah. Oh, Miss greatest game ever.
Yep.
The Rose Bowl's awesome.
The granddaddy of them all. We
That's
need to
what
put
that
that
is.
motherfucker down. Granddaddy needs to go to a home. We're trying to expand the playoff. We're trying to make college football better and better. And they said, no, we're going to do this thing at 4 o'clock on January 1st. Shut the fuck up, Rose
No
Bowl.
matter what.
Shut the fuck up.
I agree that needs to get out of the way.
Well, they won't get out of the way. They
But they're-
like to
they're
smell
gonna
their
be-
own farts too much.
They're going to be forced out of the way.
Well, good. We need to force them out of the way.
That doesn't take away how cool the Rose Bowl is.
If the Rose Bowl will change and stop thinking they're so self-important, and we'll get with the times, and we'll agree to how certain games or be at certain times, and yes, the Rose Bowl can be awesome forever. But if they're just going to say, no, we're playing at 4 o'clock on January 1st and nothing else, fuck you, Rose Bowl.
Well, that's the bigger thing is if they're saying that, then somebody who's higher up in charge needs to say, well, that's just not
I think
how
that's
it
what
works.
we're doing. I think that's what we're doing.
Then you know what, we're at the handshaking meme right now because what you just said is if they get out of the way, you'll appreciate the beauty that is the Rose Bowl, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
They got to get on board with everything we're doing.
So I think that they're going to have to, even if they don't want to. They're going to be kicking and screaming. But
What
they're
do you
going to have
think changes first, the Rose Bowl or Lee Corso?
Wait, Aya, what? Nah, what did you just say?
Oh, no.
Nah, that was uncalled for. No.
How is that uncalled for?
Lee Corso is
You mean dead?
No,
No.
off game day.
You want
Oh.
to kill him.
No, just off
Well-
game day.
Okay,
Then it wasn't
relax.
uncalled for.
Second. Third.
I will say,
Fifth.
can I say something
Fourth.
that might be a little...
Better
I don't
than
give a
anybody
fuck
I
about
know.
game day. I don't care.
I think that
I don't give a fuck about the Rose Bowl.
I don't give a fuck about game day.
I thought you were
But
gonna say Rose Bowl's
I
gonna be
think
like-
in order for Lee Corso to be off of game day,
Why are we talking Lee Corso? I want to argue about the Rose Bowl.
No, I'm saying the same thing of like
No, he's
They're
not gonna
old.
die.
Nobody.
I don't want him to die.
back
I'm
to Lee
just-
Corso. Sorry,
No,
back to
the
Rose
Rose
Bowl.
Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
Here's
Don't
the
even
thing.
flip.
Here's the thing. When we argue about the Rose Bowl, I understand your
You're
point.
in love with the visuals and the optics of the Rose Bowl. Oh
Yeah.
my God, it's so pretty.
Oh, because well, and also that when the game is great, which it is a lot of the bowl. The last year's Rose Bowl was fucking awesome. Beside the point, we all romanticize a lot of things in sports. Romanticizing the Rose Bowl is not something that I, Casey Smith, am the only one that does. However, I also think that if there's somebody out there that's allowing the Rose Bowl to be the reason that the dates of the playoff aren't changing, that's more on them. If the Rose Bowl's like, hey, I'm going to say what I want to do, and then somebody's like, you know what, Rose Bowl, you're right, we're going to keep doing it, that's on a bigger entity than the Rose Bowl.
What was the last report we had from Ross Dellinger where the playoff committee was meeting and
Yeah.
they're prepared to go forward with the Rose Bowl? The Rose Bowl without the Rose Bowl, the Rose
Yeah.
Bowl doesn't.
Right. That's
conform?
a good thing.
I think that
That's
was like last Friday or something.
So to your point that we've always had when we had this argument is that the Rose Bowl won't get out of the way, and that's fine. But if they've been allowed to not get out of the way and just been acquiesced to it, then the Rose Bowl is going to continue to act that way. They're like a petulant child when it comes to this specific
Nobody
aspect.
even gives a shit about no roses.
The Rose Bowl's fucking awesome.
That's fine.
All right, from Ross Dellinger. CFB presidents do not plan to guarantee the Rose Bowl an exclusive January 1st window in future playoffs, giving the bowl a deadline to make its decision on early expansion, sources tell at SI Now. The Rose represents the last hurdle to expanding the college football playoff in 2024.
Y'all better get the fuck out of the way.
Get out of the way or move on without them. I have a question for you. When we talk about like iconic games a lot, right?
Yeah.
What normally pops in your head?
Well, that's cheating.
It's not cheating.
No, that's cheating.
Because that is
Because
part
the
of it.
Rose Bowl that you think of, the classic Rose Bowl, was not an actual classic Rose Bowl. It was a national title game.
But
That's
it was-
USC Texas. That's
yes,
not
but
a.
it was in the Rose
But
Bowl.
that's not a format.
and
That's
the
not a formatted
Roses,
Rose Bowl.
And
That,
the Rose.
that game
the-
could have happened in the sugar. It could have happened in the orange.
Absolutely, but there was a little bit more of romantic element to
Not
it.
really?
Oh, yes, there
It could have happened
was.
anyway. If that thing happened in the Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, I'd be like, that's
Bullshit.
still a hell of a game.
Bullshit.
Yeah, quick lane.
Bullshit. You
Which
know,
used to be the Motor City Bowl, which is where UConn beat Toledo in 2004. I went to that game, and I gave a high five to Dan Orlovsky.
That's cool.
No, it's not.
Oh, Katie was being nice.
Yeah.
Dan Orlovsky, I
High-fiving.
recently told him that on Twitter, and he responded, did I cover the bet? I was like, dude, I was in second grade.
You know what we didn't talk about? We don't have to talk about it right now. We can keep it moving. But him talking about Dan just reminded me. Our guy Peter Burns got thrown under the bus pretty bad this week.
Oh, that was a joke.
Yeah,
That was
Yes.
set up.
weird. That was weird.
The whole thing was so weird. No, I don't think it was.
Wait, for
No, that's a setup. That
me
was a
not
setup.
They're
knowing
still-
and people
but they're still
listening not
tweeting about
knowing.
it.
Yeah, I know. That was
So
a setup.
Peter Burns, for
Yeah.
Peter Burns made a joke about the wife of his co-host. You know his name. Say his name.
Ben Williams?
No, Ben
right?
Watson.
Ben Watson.
Ben Watson. They were going to commercial or something, and I don't know.
Ben Watson said my wife was going to text me and say that she likes my suit, and Peter said that's not what she texted me.
Yeah.
And then it was a whole
just busting
meltdown.
balls.
Oh.
And then Ben Watson didn't take it well, and I don't know if he was. not taking it well or as an act or if it was real. It was just a whole weird thing.
And it's still weird. They're still tweeting about it today.
And Peter Burns did shout Brandon Walker out on ESPN one time.
He did that
multiple
too.
times.
Yeah, he does.
So I'm always going to side with Peter Burns.
I love Peter.
Also, his
follows
name
me, so
sounds
I'll
like an
side with
STD.
Well, that's not very nice, is it?
It's not. No, busting balls. I thought.
It is one of those things on Twitter where
I love Peter Burns. Peter Burns is one of my favorite guys.
Peter Burns is fantastic.
He's incredible.
I just was very confused why it got so out of hand. I mean, you joke around about being my baby's father. And
I joke sometimes and say it's not mine.
I just like.
Could you
these are
imagine?
jokes.
Could you imagine Noah this not being my baby? That'd be hilarious. Hey,
Noah's
Noah,
not going to
Noah,
say anything. Oh God. He
Wink
just
at him
winked.
again.
So USC Notre Dame?
Have we not gotten to that one yet?
No.
The first time this game has really mattered in a long time. We joked about with Tennessee this year, and Tennessee faded, but them being back in the national consciousness was interesting. And USC Notre Dame mattering on a big. I mean, those gold helmets are going to be shining this Saturday against USC. It's going to be a beautiful uniform game. It's going to be a gorgeous game to watch, and it matters. If Notre Dame already knocked Clemson out of the playoff hunt, or at least the top, upper echelon of the playoff hunt by destroying them, now they could go do the same thing. Now Notre Dame, the last 5 games, are rolling pretty good. They beat Boston. They've won 5 straight games, or I think they've won 6 straight games actually. They've been outstanding the second half of the year, and USC. I don't know, man. What do you think?
I like USC, and I know that Notre Dame has definitely gotten better. There's no doubt about that. We made fun of Notre Dame. They lost to Marshall. They didn't lose to Stanford that long ago. So it wasn't like they lost to Stanford and Marshall in
Casey,
like week 2
Katie,
or 3.
Full schedule on Notre Dame, please.
USC scares me when it comes to this game because even though outside of the one loss that they have to Utah by 1 point, they've not been able to bury anybody. So teams that we look at with USC where like the Cal game, for example, it was like I think they were favored by 3 touchdowns. They weren't able to do that. So not to take away the fact that they've won all of those games, but if Notre Dame starts to put up a fight early, then can USC get over that hump to bury a team by keeping up with them? Now,
here's my thought.
They lost to Stanford on October 15th.
It's 5-game winning streak for Notre Dame.
5-game winning streak. But when you look at those games, it's the same thing we've been talking about with the ACC, is that Notre Dame just owns the ACC.
Yeah, but owns them, but also have destroyed teams. Like they beat Clemson by 21. They beat Syracuse by 17. The Navy score is 35-32, but that's not even close to what that game was. They were up, and Navy scored late.
But Boston College is terrible.
Boston College is terrible, but Notre Dame's scoring a lot of points, and USC, for everything that's put him in position, for Caleb Williams throwing and for what he's thrown for that offense being as good, their defense still hasn't been very good. They've gotten some timely turnovers, but their defense isn't very good, and if Notre Dame is sure what they're doing and goes in there and tries to run the ball and does it with success, I do not see 5.5 points difference in these teams. This, to me, feels like the classic last Saturday of the season, huge, like almost the Bush push game, which that wasn't the last Saturday of the season, but it feels like it's coming down to the last 2 minutes and somebody's going to make a fucking play.
When you look at Notre Dame's schedule this year, outside of Ohio State, we know Ohio State's the best offense they faced. I mean, that's just an obvious answer. Would you say North Carolina is the next?
Oh, I think that's easy. That North Carolina's the second best offensive face. Yes.
So the thing is when you look at the rest of their schedule, and yes, they beat North Carolina.
Ohio
behind
State,
Ohio
sorry.
State, yes.
Fine,
when you look at the rest of their schedule, they've not faced good offenses at all.
And BYU's offense is fine.
Clemson's offense is not good.
Clemson's offense is not good, but I think offensively, I mean,
they've not faced a Caleb Williams.
They haven't faced
and
a Caleb
Jordan
Williams,
Addison
but
since Ohio State.
But has USC played a defense as good as Notre Dame? I think that answer is unequivocally no.
You don't think Utah's up there?
Utah does not have the defensive physicality this year that they usually have.
Oregon State.
It's fine. Oregon State has a fine defense, but it's not as good as Notre Dame's defense. This could be simultaneously the best offense Notre Dame has faced and the best defense that USC has faced. Those two could be stone cold fact.
Which is why I do think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the end. I'm still going to take USC. I think that what we saw last week with UCLA's offense, and I know DTR had costly turnovers, and I get that, but the fact that Caleb Williams and that offense were able to score more points despite the fact that UCLA's offense was able to run all over their defense. I don't think Notre Dame's offense can do what UCLA's offense did.
I don't know, Casey. I mean, if I'm looking at USC's schedule, Arizona State scoring 25, Utah scoring 42, Arizona scoring 37, Cal scoring 35, UCLA scoring 45. UCLA is a great offense, but I don't think
score more.
I don't think I'm in a world where Notre Dame's going to have to score 40 to win this game. If that defense comes, the only way they're going to win is keeping the game in the 20s or the 30s, and I think they can win that game. So if USC scores 40, yeah, they're going to win because Notre Dame can't keep up with them. I just think this is a dramatic step up in competition for both the offense of USC and the defense for Notre Dame. I think 5.5 is way too many points, and Notre Dame will be in this game in the fourth quarter and possibly win the game.
The biggest issue for Notre Dame is their rush offense, which is where USC struggles the most. It's not elite. It's kind of average. But USC's defense has been so bad that you could see that, it doesn't even matter that Notre Dame doesn't have that elite run offense that they usually have had in the past 2 years. All that being said, I'm just shocked about how bad. There's no denying that USC's defense is bad. They rank 123rd in defensive success rate.
Yeah, they're not
109th in EPA per play for expected points added per play on defense. They're so bad on defense.
They're so bad on defense.
But the biggest thing it will come down to is can the Notre Dame secondary stop Caleb Williams enough? Caleb Williams is just also, I don't really know how you stop him. I guess you put a quarterback spy on him and then try to get there with 4 or 3 down linemen and then protect in the back from your secondary. And then when he scrambles out, you attack. All that being said, it's a lot easier in practice than in game.
One subtext to this game and then the game in Michigan-Ohio State is I think the Heisman has turned into a 2.5 horse race. It is 2 main horses. It's C.J. Stroud, the short favorite at -125, and Caleb Williams at -110. Those two are the big ones. Caleb Williams, if he goes for 400 this week, 400 next week, and USC wins both games, he's going to steal this Heisman. If C.J. Stroud goes for 450 and 4 against Michigan, he's going to win this Heisman. Or the 2.5 horse, the other horse is Blake Corum, who I don't know if he's healthy, but if he goes for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns and Michigan wins this game, he's going to take the Heisman. So
you know what would be
nobody outside those 3 is winning the Heisman.
Correct, 1,000%. And it's a 3-horse race. What will be interesting because you've mentioned the Ohio State Michigan that comes down to who's going to win the Heisman. Caleb Williams last week made it a little bit more complicated. If C.J. Stroud wins the game, and even if Caleb Williams has a phenomenal game, if Ohio State wins and C.J. Stroud has the normal stat line that he does, he'll win it. What happens if Michigan wins and Blake Corum has a Blake Corum day, but then Caleb Williams also has another 500-yard day against Notre Dame and beats whoever they play in the Pac-12 championship, which is Oregon?
Yes,
Yeah.
Oregon or Washington.
Should be.
I think it's going to be Caleb Williams in that scenario.
What if it's C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams with the same? Because Caleb Williams is obviously a little bit less of a.
Next week would tell the tale because next week you're going to have C.J. Stroud against an Iowa defense that'll probably shut him down a little bit. Well, they scored 54 the first time. I don't know. That's your 3 Heisman guys.
Yes.
We need to get to the slate and get to other games because we haven't talked about a lot of games. I think it's a hinge point for a lot of rivalry games this week. Do you have another ad?
I do.
Good.
I do.
That's a
Look
good
at
segue
you.
right there.
Look at you, Brandon.
Well, look at that
Okay,
segue.
So this week is Thanksgiving. We know this.
Yes.
You'll be eating at 7 a.m. The rest of us will be eating at
11 a.m. I don't understand the problem with this.
It's bizarre.
Might as well be 7 a.m.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
You
You
wake
guys-
up. I
the
like
fact
you
that
act
you guys
like you're
wait till
waking
5
up.
o'clock in the afternoon to eat is crazy.
I don't wait.
You
I
wait till
like
after the
2.
Buffalo Bills game is done.
No, you do
No,
not.
I
That's
like
at 4
to-
o'clock in the afternoon.
I like to eat at halftime of the first NFL game. That's when I like to eat.
If you're
That's
waiting till 1 o'clock to eat, why not just eat?
because in the morning you have like a little breakfast, maybe some biscuits, some cinnamon rolls.
Ain't no biscuits on Thanksgiving,
Then you
baby. What are
have,
you eating?
then you have Thanksgiving, and then you have it. No, it's just a bizarre.
Also, you
But-
said that you wake up to cook.
Hey!
Well, my point is
I think he's lying.
that everybody prepares for their Thanksgiving meal, whether you're going to somebody else's or whether you're cooking it yourself. It's a big stressor. And then you have to keep eating afterwards. That's how humans work. Did you know that? You have to keep eating.
Yeah.
the next day and the
I'm
next
fine
day
with
and the
that,
next
yeah.
day. And you don't really want to have to go to the grocery store, which is why our friends at HelloFresh make the holiday season even easier. They make every single day of the year easy with their meal kit. But I am so happy that I have HelloFresh coming between Thanksgiving and Christmas because they have the chef-crafted recipes, the pre-portioned ingredients. It's delivered right to my door, so I don't have to worry about anything else. I have to focus on my Thanksgiving meal and then eventually focus on what I'm going to eat for Christmas, everything in between. I'm saving money thanks to HelloFresh. So, as you know, Brandon, you can go on the app. You can pick from a million different things. There's all these different menu items. They're catered towards the season, so there's a lot of really warm, nice foods right now on HelloFresh. But the most important thing is you can swap proteins, you can upgrade, you can even add protein to different meals, but you can customize it, and it's all fresh. 1,000% fresh. They travel from farm to your home in less than 7 days. And I love it. You love it. Jack loves it. I didn't know until recently Jack's a big HelloFresh guy, but he's a HelloFresh guy.
Of course, Jack's a big HelloFresh guy.
I love HelloFresh. I mean, I'm waiting for the main part here because it's good.
You know what the main part
Tell him
is?
the main part.
No, I
It's
want
saving.
quesadilla.
It's saving money.
Yeah,
it's
and-
HelloFresh.com/Walker70.
That number gets bigger every time we say it.
Walker70 for 70% off free shipping. Plus free shipping. 70% off plus free shipping.
Go to HelloFresh.com/Walker70. That's 70. Use code Walker70 for 70% off plus free shipping.
Plus free shipping. And very important PSA, you have to go to the URL, HelloFresh.com/Walker70, and use the code Walker70.
Yep.
And that'll get you 70% off. Just make sure you're using both and make HelloFresh your number one meal kit, just like it's everyone else's in America's number one meal kit.
Yeah. All right.
The slate.
The slate. So, I without worrying about the slate and where everything is right now, I want to talk about Alabama and Auburn. It's a 22-point spread.
They're not covering it.
Auburn is very interesting right now because they're going to hire Lane Kiffin shortly. But Cadillac Williams has got them playing hard, has got them playing with passion, has got them wanting to show up, has got them cheering, has got Auburn in a great frame of mind. I don't know where Alabama's mind is right now. They were garbage against Austin Peay. They won 34-0, but they were lifeless. And I think, I mean, it's not a 0.0 chance that they could make it to the playoff. It's like 3%.
I was going to say 5. Maybe.
Yeah, but
Low.
it's probably there if everything just fell apart. They could probably get in. But they love to kill Auburn. But I look at this game and I think Auburn's going to run out of that tunnel with their hair on fire, and they're going to make this one hell of an interesting football game.
I agree with you, and the Iron Bowl is the number one rivalry in college football. I know Ohio State.
Wow, I thought you thought Ohio State Michigan
No,
was.
I've always put the Iron Bowl.
Oh, okay.
I believe that Ohio State Michigan hates each other way more than you give them credit for. But I've always said Auburn and Alabama, they shoot each other.
Yeah.
You have a rivalry where they kill each other over it, then you're the number one rivalry. So regardless of what's at stake, this game is always weird. You know, one of the most iconic plays in college football history happened in this game with the kick six. And Nick Saban always wants to beat the shit out of Auburn no matter what. And that's like a cliche thing that we say about every rivalry. However, this game does have weird things happen. Alabama's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Alabama has not proven one single second this year that they can cover spreads as big as 22 points. And I know that, you know, they have way more on the line than Auburn does because Cadillac Williams it's his last game as interim head coach, whatever. Alabama has not proven that they have been able to do that. They've been able to beat teams, sure, but all the problems that we've seen Alabama have this year will still be there when they play Auburn. And that's why a 22-point spread on paper makes sense, I guess, because Auburn's been so bad. But Alabama hasn't proven they can do that. So why would I trust it for this game?
Yeah.
Whenever it's
Now,
weird shit that happens.
I have a Banana Lands theory I'd like to throw out to you guys.
All
I've been
right.
meaning to do this for a couple of weeks. The biggest job openings in the country right now are Wisconsin, Auburn, Nebraska. Okay? Does anybody,
Oh, no.
because it'll happen unpredictably, is there anybody who could see a world
Yes.
where Saban hangs it up after this season?
No.
Anybody?
No.
None whatsoever?
I will
I
say, though.
A few
Man,
perc-
70 years old. Hold on. Let me just lay it out. Man, 70 years old. He's about to enter probably the biggest transition team he's ever had. He's losing Bryce. He's losing Will Anderson. He's losing most of this team. And the transfer portal hasn't exactly seemed like something he's comfortable with. NIL hasn't seemed like something he's comfortable with. At some point, he might get to the end of the season and look around at all his trophies and Miss Terry and his lake house and be like, God damn, man, I could just go chill.
I see that point. I see him doing that.
If he had that ability to do it, this would be the season he'd look around and be like, I don't know about this.
I think that if you are somebody of Nick Saban's caliber and he's going to have an ego, I would have a massive ego too, just like any of us would if you are him, that you're going to say, okay, yes, 70 is, you're getting up there. 70 is also not 90. He's going to do what I feel like a lot of people kind of accused Tom Brady of doing, but it was like, I don't feel like he's going to hang it up in a year he misses the playoff.
I'm going to say it. Not say it, but
I think
his daughter's been posting really weirdly on Instagram
Really?
recently.
What's she posting?
I don't know why.
It's just like very much like enjoy the moment because the moment won't always be the moment.
Well, maybe she got
Not
broken
like-
up with.
Guys, I don't.
No.
Also could.
I have
she
no
has
I have no
she's married
information
with
here.
a
It's not about
never mind.
Instagram. I just have this odd feeling like if the end is coming, look at this year and look at what happened this year and look at what they're going to have to do to be Alabama next year. It's because it's substantial.
Because that's what he said. He said that he'll be the head coach as long as like he can do the best job out there.
He
might
did
look
sign
at
a
it.
new contract this offseason.
I just think he's going to
Yeah,
want to
but he
make the
can retire
playoff
when-
again.
I know.
I think he's
All right.
And maybe this was the season that beat him down, and he looked around.
But yeah, he looked around and thought maybe.
I'm only floating this as a theory.
No, it's a fine question. I do think that if you are somebody that is used to having the success that he does, that you'll say, okay, listen, like all these factors are not going in my favor. However, like I could make the playoff one more time. Now, if he does this year again next year, it gets a little bit more dicey because it's like, all right, well, I don't know. But this year, I think that there's I would say a 1% chance.
All right, pull the slate up. You are my fire, the one desire, believe. All right, when I sing. All right, here we go. I want it that way. Tell me why. Okay, all right. Here we go. At noon on Saturday, Georgia is going to beat the ever-living dog shit out of Georgia Tech. You're right, Katie, whoever that is. I went right to Saturday, and I should not have because
The Megasode.
Thursday you have Mississippi State beating Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
How many cowbells are you bringing to that stream?
I'm changing it up this year.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm probably going one cowbell, and I'm bringing funtivities.
All right.
Who's going to be at the stream? Just me, you, and Mince?
You're not coming?
I'm clipping remotely.
You coming?
My parents won this Thanksgiving.
No, I'm coming back on Friday morning.
Oh, wow.
I'll see you
Nice
guys
that
on
you guys
Saturday.
get to enjoy a holiday.
Hey, I ain't from Mississippi.
That's
not how you say it.
Not even a little. You didn't even finish the word.
I said Mississippi. I said come to the sip.
I
Yeah.
understood what you said.
Parents won this battle. for me.
I truly believe it's going to be me, you, and Mince. And then a producer to get the live stream going.
Stefan. I've already
Steph,
talked to him now.
is
Yeah,
he
no,
mad?
I
And
think
he's very pissed about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Friday, you've got.
Oh, no, I feel bad.
Who cares? He's an Iowa fan.
Oh no.
Friday, you've got several rivalry games, as it were. You have Tulane-Cincinnati, which not really, but Tulane-Cincinnati's a ranked matchup, 21 versus 25.
I think the winner goes to the AAC championship.
And
You
host it too.
Baylor and Texas. Texas needs to finish strong, I would say, against Baylor. I don't think Sark can really afford another loss, so I think he needs to finish strong. We move forward. NC State and North Carolina at 3:30. That's number 24. How in the fuck is NC State still ranked?
All right, that
24
They're
against
in a free fall.
number 13, North Carolina. Are you confident about this one? I know you haven't been confident about North Carolina all year.
I'm back to not being confident. So I did all the matchup stats. Basically, it's our offense versus their defense. Who's gonna win? Because both of the other sides of the ball for both teams suck. They have no offense. We have no defense. It's home. I think I'm gonna feel. I will, again, won't bet on the team.
God damn it, lady! Just say you're going to win the game. It's your
Say
team.
it.
Say it.
I was going there.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not gonna bet it.
Let her finish.
Yeah, but she's driving all the way around the corner. Let's just get in the car and go through there.
I was giving my thoughts.
Look, no, we're getting in the car. I give you the keys. Hit the gas. Go.
The loss last week's gonna wake everyone up. We're winning it.
There we go.
I
Fuck
can't.
'em,
I
Ka-
can't give.
fuck 'em, Katie.
I can't
Fuck 'em.
give my thought process.
Katie,
Oh, yes,
fuck
of course you can, but we need the hate for your rival.
Fuck them.
Yeah, no, fuck them.
There it
Good.
is.
Wait, we didn't even really. You think you're gonna win on Thursday?
He just
You
said
know
it.
why?
I
Because fuck them.
I did too. If Lane wasn't half
I'm
out
a
the
little
door, I'd be
concerned they
worried.
may just run the ball all over you.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sorry. I'm not saying it.
Judkins is going to Auburn with Lane. They're not. He's not going to want to risk an injury.
Okay. But they risk an injury for next September.
Also, players know. If Lane's leaving, I think he is, they know. And they half-assed that first half against Arkansas.
They did.
They mailed that shit in. If he's not – 2017, Dan Mullen was leaving for Florida the next day. I didn't know that. You know who did know it?
The team.
And
they came out
flat as hell and lost to a bad Ole Miss team. We were a good team, lost to a bad Ole Miss team.
Okay.
And even if none of this was happening, Ole Miss has been – I'm not saying they're a bad team because they are. They're a good team. But they've kind of been a fraud all year with where they've been ranked. They've been ranked in the top 10, the top 20.
Yes, I agree with that.
They got one win.
You guys are not that much different.
They got one decent win. It's Kentucky at home, 22-19. If we play Kentucky at home, we'd beat Kentucky.
Yeah, it's just the only thing is I'm just a little concerned about the matchup.
LSU killed them. Arkansas killed them. Like, this is not a –
I love the under.
What do you think about this photo?
Oh, yeah, under.
Well, you know what I thought when Lane Kiffin tweeted this photo about him? I thought, okay, well, there's just Lane Kiffin's dick.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Lane Kiffin thirst-trapped the Egg Bowl.
I saw that too.
But my favorite – yeah, Lane Kiffin thirst-trapped the egg bowl. He sent out a picture of his dick. That's fine. Little Lane. My favorite part of this, he said, just doing some late-night reading, and he's reading about the Egg Bowl, and that's funny. Ha, ha, ha. Dan Mullen responded to it. Said, I know that – can y'all get your focus off dick for a second?
Katie just did something. It's fine.
Dan Mullen says, I know that book, couple of good chapters in there. And I thought that was a really funny reply by Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
Okay, goddamn.
Think he's going to be coached
Sorry,
next year?
Dan Mullen's dick wasn't in the picture, so
Think he's going to be
Well,
coached next
no,
year,
I
or
didn't say
still on-
anything.
No, I think he's going to do TV for a minute.
Yeah, make the money.
The
someone-
responses on there are so
I would like to
funny.
not look at Lane Kiffin's dick anymore.
There's a clip of Dan Mullen at a halftime show was asked about Florida's upset, and he just went, huh.
Oh, I like that.
Like, I'll find it somewhere, but just.
You know why?
Meh.
You know why he said that?
Petty.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck them. Thank you. NC State, North Carolina. Arkansas, Missouri. Arkansas coming off a big win. Keep your eyeballs peeled for Missouri here. They're not a bad football team. I like them to beat Arkansas at home. Here's an interesting – a couple rivalries are at hinge points, and this is one of them. Florida, I believe, is in the midst of realizing they hired the wrong guy. I've had that statement since the beginning. Whether they win or lose, I thought they hired the wrong guy. And they just lost to Vanderbilt. Now they go to Tallahassee against a Florida State team who is alive and well. They have a chance to finish 9-3. They have a chance to start their season by beating LSU, end their season by beating Florida. It's a 9.5-point spread, and I think Florida State is poised to beat the living dog shit piss out of Florida.
I would agree with that.
I mean,
Yep.
Norvell has grabbed his job by the horns, and he's got everything going the right way. There were some doubts about him coming into the season, but he has 9-3, and his losses weren't, he lost all three in a row. He lost to Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson in a row. But now he can finish strong, and they've been killing teams recently. Florida's not good. I love Florida State to kill them. On Saturday, you got Georgia Tech, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State. We've already talked about. South Carolina, Clemson's interesting all of a sudden.
Yep.
It's a 14.5-point spread. South Carolina destroyed Tennessee. Now they play a Clemson team at home. South Carolina could really flip this rivalry on its ear, but I don't see it.
They definitely could. I would love that because it was one of my upsets of the year that I put on the preseason thing. I don't expect this offense for South Carolina to have the day that they did against Tennessee. I do think Clemson's defense is better than Tennessee's. However, I could see this being a situation where Clemson has its hopes up because they're back in the playoff conversation. And they're all, we're going to win the ACC. We deserve a playoff spot. And little old South Carolina, who was kind of dead and buried in the narrative mindset, their season's not been that bad at all.
7-4, yeah.
Yeah, it's not been that bad at all. But then do I expect them to beat them by 30? No, but I could see it being like Clemson just being, well, it's just South Carolina. They stink. We're going to the playoff. And South Carolina was like, did you not see what we just did to fucking Tennessee
I think
last
they
week?
take joy.
I could see Clemson. Clemson loves nothing more than every now and then when hope begins to stir in Columbia, just taking their phone and snuffing it out. So this could be a spot because, listen, Tennessee's defense is garbage. We're 7 days removed, less than 7 days removed from South Carolina fans revolting and wanting their offensive coordinator fired. Now, all of a sudden, Spencer Rattler's Kyler Murray? I don't think so. Clemson, this is a lookout Clemson spot because they could bring down the Thunder on South Carolina's ass.
They absolutely could. But I could also see maybe the opposite happening. I also want the opposite to happen. Because
Louisville at Kentucky, which is a big rivalry game.
Love the under there.
That's an interesting one, too. Yeah, Kentucky has a bad quarterback, can't score. I love Louisville to go in and win that game. Auburn, Alabama at 3:30. Oregon State. Now, Oregon State, the underreported thing about the Pac-12 this year, we focused so much on USC, UCLA, Oregon at the top. Washington has a chance to finish 10-2. Oregon State, if they win this game, they finish 9-3. The second-tier teams in the Pac-12 are really fucking good.
And the teams that were really, really good in the past, the Pac-12 over the past decade have taken a real step back, such as Stanford.
Like teams like
Cal,
Washington.
too.
If Washington wins this week, they finish 10-2, and with only a road loss to UCLA, and then
Arizona State, they had a tough loss.
Yeah,
Like 45-42.
I was going to mention this. If I had to give I'll give the because Heisman later. Michael Penix is a firm leader in the clubhouse.
Okay.
Michael Penix Jr., by the way, C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams are going for each other in the Heisman. Michael Penix Jr. has 1,000 more passing yards than C.J. Stroud and 500 more passing yards than Caleb Williams.
That's crazy.
And he's leading the country in passing yards with 3,800.
Poor Indiana fans.
Kenny
Yeah.
Pickett winner.
Yeah, he's a Kenny Pickett guy. Yeah, you're right. I could call it the Kenny Pickett Memorial Because Trophy. He's not dead. though.
Because, I thought you said.
He's not because.
I think it's different than because and Kenny Pickett are different in my
Because.
eyes.
Because.
Who
I
could
think
you give it? Who could you name it after? Who are some great guys that Bryce, Love?
well for Kenny Pickett it's like you kind of were meh for it's like MIP.
Yeah.
You're meh for a bit, and
Pickett,
then, like-
Pickett is a guy that was average, incredible.
Yeah.
Really kind of a Joe Burrow thing. Average, incredible, and that's what Michael Penix
So
Jr.
Joe
has
Burrow,
done.
then.
Yeah.
I mean Joe Burrow went first.
I kind of like naming it after Kenny Pickett. Joe Burrow won the Heisman.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow
Yeah,
won a
fair enough.
national championship.
And he's hot.
Boy, is he hot.
Jesus. That's all you got to say. It's just like throwing
Do you see that
bone
Twitter
through
list
the
of
Kenny
that
Pickett's
girl
not
who
Kenny Pickett
she
hot?
ranked all the
Weirdly,
ranked
yes.
how hot all of the NFL quarterbacks are?
No.
And it was very funny because it was one of the ultimate tell on yourself lists
Was it
because
racist? Had all the black guys last? Or?
because it wasn't like they had all the black guys last. It was Dak as the hottest black guy at 24, and then 32 was Lamar Jackson. See, like phased out from like incredibly white to like mixed.
She did a gradient? She did-
Gradient, yeah,
No,
gradient.
You can't be doing
Okay,
that.
all right.
Dak is also very hot.
Dak is a
Oh
very
yeah,
hot
no,
man,
and yeah,
so-
but I mean, like she
Yeah,
had
no,
Jalen Hurts
definitely.
29.
Jalen Hurts
Garoppolo.
also
I'd kiss
hot.
Dak right now.
Garoppolo's overrated.
I agree with
Garoppolo,
that.
no.
he doesn't have
No, no.
lips.
Time out.
No. Listen,
Time out.
hey, hold on. Difference.
No.
Listen,
hold
no.
on.
Jimmy
You're
Garoppolo.
not
Jimmy
going to be on this
Garoppolo-
podcast and say Lane Kiffin's hot and Jimmy Garoppolo's
no,
not.
Jimmy Garoppolo's smoking hot.
Okay.
He's Barbie hot.
Hey, I got some news for you. Girls don't like when you are hotter than them.
All right, fair enough.
He's-
Jimmy Garoppolo is
He's-
incredibly
he's
hot.
very hot.
He's Barbie hot to me. He's like copy paste Instagram
he's
model.
Very,
not uniquely
very
so.
pretty. Now, is he smoking hot? Absolutely. Would I take Joe Burrow or Dak or Tom Brady
Those
over
are
him?
also
Yes.
very handsome men.
They're all very handsome, but he's prettier than them.
None of them are the
You know what's
hottest in the
impressive?
NFL.
You know, being a hot NFL quarterback's not impressive. You be an ugly NFL quarterback for a long time. Ben Roethlisberger should be
Tua.
applauded. Tua
Hey.
ain't ugly.
Two is not ugly.
Tua's not ugly at all. Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning not a great looking
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, but Ben Roethlisberger probably the best ugly quarterback.
Sure, I'll tell you.
I don't.
Jim Kelly back in the day was
Katie
an
looked
ugly
at Tua, was
quarterback.
like,
I don't
Wait a
want to be
minute.
mean. Lamar Jackson's not the best looker.
No, he's
you
not.
just graded it yourself.
No, he
No,
did
no.
not.
I said Jalen's hot.
Jalen Hurts is hot.
Jalen Hurts, good looking guy.
Why
Well, I guess now we're just doing it.
You know who's not hot that people think is hot and I don't?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's not
I do
pretty.
not
the
think he's
haircut.
hot.
The haircut kills it. It's greasy. It's gross.
Kirk Cousins hot.
Matt Stafford, an ugly
Kirk
quarterback.
Duggins is. Kirk
No,
Cousins.
some people
no.
think he's really attractive.
Matt Stafford?
Yeah.
No.
No, not for me.
Oh, that was fun.
So I could do this all day.
All right, Slate, please.
I could do this all day.
Get off the hottest quarterback list. Thank you.
Also, tight ends are much harder. Mark Andrews is is the hottest person in the NFL.
Okay.
Mark Andrews?
Yeah. We had this debate: Andrews versus Garoppolo.
You like tight ends better than the quarterbacks?
I thought you were going in a different direction with that one.
I was. All right. So we've got Oregon State. Be careful, Oregon. Everything's been sexy for you. Great, incredible. Oregon State could fuck you up this weekend. Purdue,
Just the
That's
way
some
you said
analysis,
that.
baby.
Purdue, Indiana. Can you?
For
like-
Indiana. I was
yeah,
waiting
fine.
to use.
Yeah, I know, but
It's a funny quote.
well, I got to get Jack on the train.
Fine, go.
5:39 train.
It was 5:43 earlier.
Yeah, I messed up.
You lied. You're baking in 4 minutes, so okay, I got it.
Not I keep going.
I do that too.
Okay, keep going.
If I have to make, hold on, I'm talking to him. If I have a 5:45 train, I will absolutely.
Mom,
tell you
this is why I didn't make the train.
I will absolutely tell you it's a 5:35.
No,
train.
I'm making the train. We're close. I'm
What time is that fucking train?
5:39. I swear to God. I'll show you the ticket.
I don't care.
He did say 5:39 earlier. I thought he said
Iowa State
5:49.
He
TCU.
said 5:43. That's what he said.
Iowa
fucked
State
up.
TCU.
I think this is the spot. This is
Yeah.
the spot. TCU has close win. Iowa State can't score, and people are
They have
expecting
good
every game to be
defense.
close. this is the time where TCU says, "See, we're the number 4
Next
team in the
week
country,"
it could
which
be
is
fun.
next week is the problem for TCU.
Can I say something to you really quick? And we can keep it moving because people have to watch the show. I very rarely hate when arguments go specific ways on the college football show because they're usually pretty funny. Dave saying that TCU beating Iowa State in a close game versus beating the shit out of them is the same thing is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I think this is the spot.
That was a wild
Everybody
statement.
thinks this spot will be close, but Iowa State cannot score. They can't score. And TCU, their problem in close games hasn't been they can't score, other than the Texas game. They're winning games 48-38, 48-45, 48-41. They're going to score against anybody.
Yes.
They'll score against Iowa State, and Iowa State can't keep up. This is the spot. If you ever want to hammer TCU, it's hammer time this time.
And Iowa State has a good defense, and they've lost games by one
They've lost a
score.
lot of close games.
That's fine. TCU's offense is going to just explode all over them.
Oh, relax.
Oh,
Jesus.
geez.
Golly.
Oh my goodness gracious.
All right.
It's a holiday week,
Utah,
folks.
Colorado, Michigan State, Penn State. Penn State, by the way, underreported team. They're going to finish 10-2 with only losses to 2 potential playoff teams.
No. They've had a great season,
Yeah.
but the question remains:
When
can
will
they
James
take that
Franklin?
next step?
Yeah. When will he join Ohio State, Michigan on that level? 'Cause he hasn't done
They'll
it.
win the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. They'll have a great season. But look,
I've heard rumors that James Franklin could be in the mix for other jobs, but I think you hear
happens
that
every
every year.
year.
I think you hear that every
he's
year.
the new Mike Gundy.
Texas A&M, LSU. We'll move on past
You
that
know,
one.
LSU's covered 11 straight.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Here's another
The
team
game's terrible always.
that needs to be careful on Saturday.
A&M wins
Anybody
for
know who I'm
700.
talking about?
Tennessee?
LSU.
The Tennessee Volunteers. No,
Disagree.
LSU's going to win by 1,000. Tennessee better be fucking careful because Vanderbilt just beat Florida, just beat Kentucky. Tennessee is going in with Joe Milton. I thought this game was in Knoxville. It's in Nashville.
I
swear to
think
God, I thought this game was in Knoxville.
it's in Nashville. I think
Vanderbilt might win this
It
game,
will
folks.
be-
Vanderbilt
no.
might win
I
that game.
think Tennessee is going to
The
take
game will
out.
be more orange than black.
I think Tennessee is going to take out every single frustration on that poor Vanderbilt team, and I know they're better this year. I get it. I know
Tennessee's
they
defense sucks, and Joe Milton ain't Hendon Hooker.
but this is a game you want to talk about. Like Clemson likes to remind South Carolina, like, oh, that's cute. Tennessee likes to do that to Vanderbilt too. And had they won last week, I would feel much different about this game. I'd be like, oh boy, Vanderbilt's got some life. I think they're gonna shit kick them.
I might pick Vanderbilt money line.
Oh my god, don't
They-
do it! Don't do it!
They just beat.
Don't do it!
They're not. Florida and Kentucky are not in the same ballpark as Tennessee.
I think with Joe
They might-
Milton, they probably are.
I was about, yeah.
Well, I don't-
And
Big T loves Joe
again,
Milton.
that
That's
defense
Big T.
just turned Spencer Rattler into Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
it
they
just
did.
happened. What are they playing for? What are they excited about
Spencer,
right now?
But Spencer Rattler also, and I know he's not had a good season, and I realize he lost his job to Caleb Williams. His season at OU last year was not that bad. Spencer Rattler was a Heisman Trophy candidate at points.
All right. So there you go. There's rivalry week. We got plenty
Plus
of games.
420 for money line. It's not bad.
Oh, I'm doing it. I did it last week. I hit on
I
Florida.
don't.
Them
You
against
do
Florida.
what you want. It's your money.
You goddamn right. It is. All right.
Washington State thoughts?
So
The Apple Cup.
that's a sneaky bigger game than you think. Washington State, if they win, could finish 8-4. Washington State's had a good season. Washington's had a great season.
It's also a 2-point spread.
10:30 on Saturday night's a hell of a time to watch that game. I love that game. The Apple Cup's could be one of the low key best games of rivalry weekend this year. All right, everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody good? You going home?
Yeah, and I'll be back on Friday.
You going home?
Yeah.
Well, me and Casey don't have to get to. We have to go do a stream Saturday night. So
We'll
I'm
be
glad
remote
y'all are
Thursday.
having fun.
No.
Thursday.
We'll be. I'll
clipping.
we'll be here Thursday.
Glad y'all are
Saturday.
having a good time.
Will you be at the Stream Jack on Saturday?
Yeah.
Will you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you will. So Dave's coming back, so you'll get to that stream, won't you?
Do you want me to? I'll call my dad and he'll say
No,
she's
I
coming
want
to
to talk to your dad.
Thanksgiving.
I want to talk to your dad.
Really?
No, I'm terrified of your dad. All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for supporting us all year.
Yes,
Yeah, we are thankful for you.
We're thankful for you.
Thankful.
We will be back.
Some of you are mean though.
Thank you.
I'm about to say, some of
Relax.
you are fucking assholes.
I'm only thankful for like the females.
I'm thankful for the nice guys.
I
Brandon's
will say
thankful
though,
for
if you
titties.
put into
Shout out Paige.
into
She called him daddy in
like
my DMs earlier.
sorry, you guys are really rattling me. If you put into how many people went to or say mean things to us and then compare it to how many people actually listen, it's really
it's
nobody.
minuscule.
It's minuscule. It's
like-
because
it's a
there's so
point-
many people who listen and thank you.
Numbers are doing great.
Numbers are crazy good, and when you do like the percentage of the mean comments versus the numbers, it's literally like less than 1%.
I'm so thankful.
It really shows you the drawing power of Brandon Walker.
Thankful
God.
for Noah.
Thankful
you,
for
Noah.
Noah.
Yeah.
We love Noah.
Not for any of you three.
Yeah, no, them, you.
No,
I'm
Noah
over you.
changed your life.
Yeah.
I'm over you guys, but I'm thankful for Noah. We will be Thursday night.
Hey,
I was kidding. It was a
All right.
joke.
Thursday stream, Saturday stream, Saturday night will be our last reaction podcast of the year.
probably.
No.
Well, no.
Oh,
for the
no,
playoffs.
no,
We'll see, yeah.
I forget.
Conference.
All right.
Never mind.
That's unnecessary roughness.